If you ever speak to a native speaker of English who's less than 30 years old, there's one thing that you will definitely notice. Using as a filler word actually dates back to the 1960s, but is more commonly associated with more recent generations. Of course, there are more literal uses of I really like ice cream, or it looks like it's going to rain today, are considered the more conventional way to use like. However, has a huge variety of modern meanings. If you're learning English as a foreign language and you want to use just like we do, here are a few ideas. Can be used to buy some time if you can't find the word you need straight away. It's just one of those, it can also be used to show that what you're saying is an approximation and not exact. I think there were 50 people at the meeting. Can also soften any harsh or critical statement. I'm sorry, but it was just a bit boring. It can also remove some of the conviction or intensity from your statement if you are making an assumption about somebody. So do you actually live in London, or are you just visiting? Another incredibly common use, and my personal favourite, is used to report speech instead of he said, she said. She was I just don't really want to go out tonight, and he was why not? And she was I'm a bit tired. It can even be used to report non-verbal communication, like a facial expression or a gesture. And I was and they were and he was Unfortunately, using sometimes has negative connotations, so be careful. It's often linked to teenagers, particularly teenage girls, who are often mocked and ridiculed for overusing It's also associated with being uneducated, ditzy, inarticulate, incoherent, or uncertain of your ideas and beliefs. I'm in my mid-20s now, and I've been to university, and I can vouch that using does not represent any of the above. I've noticed people from all walks of life and all social backgrounds using I think, though, that a learner of English using is actually really impressive. It makes you sound really fluent, because native speakers of English actually speak like that. Using it naturally and correctly shows a lot of exposure and immersion in English, which is great. So if you want a new filler word, try it out, but just try not to overdo it. And remember, should be limited to informal communication, particularly spoken. So have a really nice evening and weekend, and I guess I'll be back next week.